Hello everyone! Today I'm presenting you a short guide on what are your priorities as position 4 in the early game. Using all of this helped me get 10K MMR, so if you want to climb, this video is for you. Smoking out of the base allows you to do a lot of things. First, it lets your mid laner put a good observer ward. Secondly, you usually see enemy movement with that, so you can get both an idea where they have warded and where they are, so you can eventually kill them. If you did both, you get a 3D ward and a kill, and that's a dream start. I suggest smoking out of the base every time, as it allows you to do that, but also make your team BS5, something that you should usually do at the start. When the laning stage starts, you have two jobs: to secure the lane for your position 3 and make it as difficult as possible for their position 1. You can do that in different ways, but the most convenient way to do that is to get enemy wave closer to your tower, as if enemy carry is farming under his tower, it's near impossible to harass him out of the lane, and straight up impossible to kill him early. Blocking enemy wave is the easiest and the most efficient way to get yourself into a good position. First of all, it makes it very hard for the enemy carry to get last hits under the tower, and more importantly, the tower kills your wave, and the enemy wave will push. And then, the only thing you need to do is just make sure the enemy small camp is blocked. Congrats, you just got yourself into a good position in first 15 seconds. For that reason, what I can suggest is usually going towards the enemy bounty rune near their tier 2 tower is better, as it sets you up to be in a place that is possible. While this could obviously mean that enemies do the same, most people don't think about it, and well executed block can completely carry you the laning stage. After the lane starts, you need to understand how important the pull camps are. It varies from game to game. If you manage to block the wave at the start, a good practice would be to block both camps, one with ward and one with your body, as then enemies have no way to fix their lane for the next minute. If you did not, and your wave is sitting under enemy tower, it's by far more important to have your camp unblocked than having enemy small camp blocked. What that means is, if you have only one sentry to use, make sure you unblock your camp and only then start thinking about enemy camp. Either block it with your body, or if you don't have enough time, leave it open. If you are a hero that has a nuke level 1 and your offlaner doesn't, it's really good for your team to secure creeps that could get denied. This mostly applies to range creeps, as usually last hitting them would put offlaners in bad position. Bonus points if you also harass enemy with it. When the lane starts, you should be looking to use your auto attack a lot. It means you harass enemies and deny your creeps together with your offlaner. Pre-blocking the camp allows you to do that while not wasting time when the lane starts, and also puts 5 into a bad position. He's either not going to have the pull camp or his carry will be 1 versus 2 for 20 seconds. A good practice is to be at the top 3 hero damage around 5 minutes, as this is usually the time the lanes will break down a bit. You can check it by going to graphs, click player hero damage and check around 5 minutes. If position 5 leaves to unblock the pull camp, a good practice is to harass position 1 heavily. If they do not back off, and usually they won't as they have creeps to hit, make sure they pay with blood for their greed. Keep in mind that blocking small camp isn't one-time duty, but usually you need to pay attention to this. If you did block with your body in the first minute, or it gets dewarded and the lane is in a good position, go there and block it again. Past certain stage, it becomes less important as you can contest with your offlaner, but early on it could be the difference between you winning and losing the lane. If the lane is pushed into your tower and contesting the pulls is a death sentence, you can play for efficiency and let your offlaner get solo XP under tower. That way, he doesn't need to contest farm with enemies, and you always want to have level advantage on your offlaner over you. At 3 minutes there is a Lotus. In terms of regen, this is worth over 100 gold, so getting that not only lets you play aggressive, but also denies that from enemies. Just keep in mind, it's not worth dying for it, and you should aim to get in a position where enemies are unable to contest you and allow you to get a free Lotus. Keep in mind that in the laning stage, regen is really important. You should constantly be topped up with HP and have enough mana to use spells. Your job is to win the lane by using resources effectively, not by boots while being useless for 4 minutes just because you're afraid. If you secure the lane for your core with regen, the chances are you will get some kills, and with that you will have gold for items like boots. As a ranged 4, the best way to kill people is to harass them to a point it's possible. Instead of saving your attacks and mana for the next game, make sure you use it a lot, bring enough resources, and eventually get some kills. You also need to keep in mind that some lanes are there to play for efficiency, not kills. If you got an offlaner that doesn't threaten enemies, or you face a strong combo that can kill you easily, you need to be extra careful about your positioning and do not field the random kills. Remember, as long as your offlaner is farming against the lanes you're supposed to lose, you don't need to do anything crazy. Play for pulls and efficiency, as your window for aggression might just come later. Keep in mind that there will be games where you can rotate towards 4-minute runes. Remember though, you usually do this to mess up enemy mid laner, not to straight up help yours. Going there to secure one of the runes is usually not enough to justify leaving the lane early. Boots are your first big item you usually want to get. That means it's more important than any other item, meaning any of the circlet upgrades or magic wand. You would like to have boots as soon as you want to move more around the map. As you usually need to go for 6-minute rune, you should aim to get your boots before that. Obviously, that item allows you to do other rotations more efficiently, so consider getting them even earlier if you have heroes that you would like to stack for. Remember though, stacking is usually only good if the lane is in a decent position, as you don't want to leave your offlaner for death. Remember, at 6 minutes your default place is to be at the runes, so securing them for your mid laner. By default, I mean every game, unless there's anything else, you should be there. If you have 2 bottle heroes on the mid lane, there is barely anything more important than that. Less than 2 bottles and you can start thinking about it. Rune is one of the biggest objectives in the early game, so make sure you pay attention to it. After that, it depends on the game. By default, you should be either getting a kill with your mid laner if you can help with that, or just go back to your lane. Fixing the lane that you've left for almost a minute is usually the thing you need to do, as you also need to prepare for the next objective, which happens at 7 minutes. Getting 7-minute XP shrine is absolutely crucial. If you're in a good position, a good practice is to stack the camp nearby. If you feel like enemies might contest the rune, you can let your other players know, so they will be there to help you out. And if you did most of that correctly at this point, congrats! You probably set yourself up for a very good game. Keep in mind, I also offer private coaching sessions, so if you'd like to improve, you can visit Support Heaven Discord. Laning stage is a very important part of the game, and playing it well will make your game so much easier. I feel like a lot of the guides focus too much on things that aren't that important, and I hope this guide from 10K MMR player perspective will help you understand how good laning stage looks like. And if you'd like to climb MMR as support, make sure you subscribe to the channel, as there are many guides that will help you get your desired rank. As always, thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what would you like to see next. See you!